Hi everyone, Tony from Act the Movies here, and I think I love Jason Goes to Hell more than I ever have.
Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday.
I've talked about this movie a couple times. We reviewed it on my podcast. If you're new here, I have a podcast where we talk about movies new and old. That's actually one of my most popular episodes. It might be the most popular. I have to check the top 5 most watched episodes of my show. But yes, I reviewed it on my podcast. And a few years back, I also did a breakdown of the work print version of the movie. Jason Goes to Hell is very special. It's a movie everyone hated upon release and then grew to love years later. Now, why do I love it more than ever? What changed recently? Well, one, I finally got, thanks to my good friend Tim from Tapes for the Crypt, the Jason Goes to Hell Arrow 4K Blu-ray release. It's loaded with features. This came out in May. I'm just getting around to watching it now. And there's something very special about this print that I learned that I was unaware of. And I became aware of at the Crypt Video Rentals Crypt Video Goes to Hell event a few weeks back. They had a big event celebrating Jason Goes to Hell, and director Adam Marcus was there, and I got to meet him. Me and my co-host Lauren went up to his table. I was talking to him, and he let us know that the new 4K release is very special because the film was shot on one type of film stock, but accidentally developed on a different type of film stock. So the movie we've been watching since 1993 has never been color corrected properly. The Arrow video release is the proper color correction, and it is a beautiful transfer. For once, you can finally see the movie as it was intended, and it's a really, really great experience. Adam Marcus, by the way, is hilarious. I had such a good time talking to him. My co-host, who had never actually seen Jason Goes to Hell, thought he was so entertaining that she asked me to get her a copy of the movie. And she was live texting me while watching it. And when I asked her what she thought of the film, she landed on 10 out of 10. It's apparently a cinematic masterpiece for her. But yes, if you're ever going to watch Jason Goes to Hell, if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend getting the Arrow video version to see it in its proper form. But there's another reason I love this film even more than I already did. At that event, I got to see an early screening of Hearts of Darkness, the making of the Final Friday. This is, oh God, I'm knocking everything over. I'm knocking over my signed Blu-ray by Adam Marcus. It is a documentary. I'm not sure when it's being released. It will have a physical release and it should hit streaming at some point. I got to see it early. Documentary about the whole making of Jason Goes to Hell. Super informative. If you were ever going to make a documentary about a Jason movie, it would probably be this one because it does have the most interesting story behind it. And we learned a ton of things. I don't want to spoil too much of them in this video, but one that I will spoil that I thought was funny. Recently we did Silent Hill on my show, which has Laurie Holden as whatever the cop lady's name was in that movie. Laurie Holden was actually going to be the final girl in Jason Goes to Hell, Jason's niece, but apparently she was turned down because the producers thought she was too pretty and girls would get jealous of her or something or not want to side with her. So I thought that was a funny story. We almost had Laurie Holden as Jason's niece in Jason Goes to Hell. But there's so much behind the scenes footage in this documentary because it was such a big special effects film, and K&B videotaped all of their special effects. So we saw crazy stuff. You get to see more of Jason's like actual body. Adam Marcus even said he kind of regrets covering Jason up so much because he had a full-on burnt bodysuit. We see a little bit of the puppet Jason at the end, who gets pulled down to hell by puppet demons. It didn't look great. I understand why they cut it out. But yes, I want you all to keep an eye on this. Follow the accounts tied to this documentary. I'm sad I never pitched in for the Indiegogo. I found out about this thing way too late. But it is one of the more fascinating film documentaries I've ever seen. And one last thing. After they screened the documentary, they did a Q&A with Adam Marcus, and I learned some interesting things. Adam Marcus was a writer on Texas Chainsaw 3D. Now, if you're new here and you've heard me plug my podcast, you're probably saying, Tony, have you ever covered that movie? Why, yes, I've covered all the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, and most of them are in our What is the Worst Texas Chainsaw Massacre episode. We talked at length about Texas Chainsaw 3D. It turns out his original script, apparently, according to him, Tobe Hooper loved his original script, called him and let him know it was like the best Texas Chainsaw sequel ever written, that had to have been an honor. But apparently it was taken away from him and rewritten and touched up. So one of the biggest issues we had with the film was the timeline.
We just get that elephant that's in the room out of the fucking way.
Yes, what is the
When
elephant?
does the first movie take place, gentlemen?
I don't know what you're talking about.
1974.
I don't know what you're
73
talking-
in the actual context.
Sean, beautiful 39-year-old Alexandra Daddario.
She's supposed to be 40. All these people are 40 years old.
Just say it takes place in the early 2000s. Why have a gravestone that literally says someone died in
Yeah, so the
2012?
movie-
Here's a better idea. How about a fucking sequel that picks up right where the last one
Wow.
left off?
So the
yeah.
movie keeps hiding when the first movie happened. They always conveniently cover up. It's always 19 and then it's just covered up.
Yeah.
Are they counting on you not doing the fucking math?
You'll be happy to know that in Adam Marcus's original version, it was not supposed to be in 2013. It was supposed to be in the early 90s or late 80s. I forget which one he said. But it was going to be in a year that actually made sense. Whereas now, Alexandra's supposed to be 39. She's 39 now, I think, or 40 now. But in 2013, she was not 39. She did not look 39. So that was like one of the biggest issues with that film. Glad to know it wasn't his fault. There's another thing in that film that is heavily criticized. And I think you know what it is, but if you don't, here's the clip. And then she's acting like their best friend. She's like, do your thing, cuz.
When I
Like
saw
her
that,
heel turn makes no sense.
I threw up in my fucking mouth when that happened.
Yeah.
Because it was just like,
Do your thing, guys. Do your thing, cuz.
And again,
you gotta put the clip in because it's so fucking bad.
Do your thing, cuz.
That apparently was not in his original version. So Adam gets a pass when it comes to that. But yes, this is just a small little bonus video I wanted to put out for all of you to let you know that there's this amazing documentary on the way, and there is a better version of the movie that you love available now. Like I said, Jason Goes to Hell is one of our biggest episodes. So I know a lot of you guys are fans of it, and you deserve to see the proper version, and you would love to see the documentary about it. Please check that out. Like, share, and subscribe. Oh, if you're new here, and you end up liking the podcast, consider joining the Patreon. At the $5 tier, we have a bunch of commentary tracks, and I even have one for Jason Goes to Hell. In fact, I have a commentary track for all the Friday the 13th films. And if you don't want to pledge, you could just buy the album outright. One-time purchase. You get all the tracks and 2 bonus tracks for Sleepaway Camp and The Burning. So yes, please like, share, subscribe. Check out the Patreon. Join the Patreon for free. That way you get the public podcast feed. It has better notifications than YouTube. I think it's worth it, even at the free tier. But we have tons of bonus videos, tons of commentary tracks, and more stuff coming all the time. Do you love Jason Goes to Hell? Have you seen the new color-corrected 4K version of it? Let me know what you think. If you check out the documentary, whenever it becomes widely available, come back and let me know what you thought of that. And yeah, that's it for me. Goodbye.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our other videos and Patreon page.